Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to compare and find out who was the king of the new Edge platform. We're going to compare the iconic 2000 Cobra R versus the iconic Terminator Cobra. And to pick a winner in the end of this video, I will give the cars points for each category that the car wins. Keep in mind, I will not be biased to any of these two cars, even though I own a Terminator Cobra. I want to find out myself as well who was the king of the new Edge platform. To make this comparison as fair as possible, I will explain to the best of my abilities why I give the points and back all data with testing that was done when these cars were brand new. This is a video that I've wanted to make for some time now, but I wanted to be as educated as possible before making it. If this is your first time stopping by, my name is Miguel, and here at the MG channel we make car content and lots of Mustang videos, mainly new Edge content, but anything and everything Mustang and pretty much car related. So I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button and become part of this family. This one is mostly based on your own judgment, but I will break down both cars and give a point to the winner. First is the Cobra R. The Cobra R has a 99-01 Cobra bumper with a massive functional splitter on the bottom. It has a massive unique Cobra R specific hood with rivets on the back. They had to make a bigger hood because the massive 5.4 with its big intake manifold didn't fit the 99 Cobra hood. The side profile of the Cobra R is your traditional 99-04 Mustang styling with the same side skirts that you'll find in your 99-04 Mustang GT, with the 99-2000 specific side scoops and the black matte plastic finish mirrors. On the back we find the most obvious and somewhat that makes the Cobra R unique: the massive functional spoiler that some people hate and others love. And the rear bumper is the one used in all 99-04 Mustang V6 because the Cobra R has side exhaust and the V6 bumper has no cutouts for exhaust tips. The Terminator Cobra was cleaned up and given its look by Camilo Pardo. He worked on the Terminator Cobra while working on the 05 Ford GT project at the same time. The Terminator Cobra has a unique 03 and 04 specific bumper with a bigger opening to allow air to flow in to cool down the heat exchanger for the supercharger. The hood is an 03 and 04 specific hood with functional heat extractors to help keep the supercharged engine cool. On the side profile of the Terminator, you will find unique flush side skirts with the big side scoops, and the mirrors are folding mirrors and are painted to match the exterior color of the car. Moving to the back, the Terminator has a unique NASCAR style functional spoiler and an 03 and 04 Cobra specific bumper with the Cobra lettering inserts on the bumper. On this one, I'm gonna have to give the win to the Terminator because it has a more specific look and a more mature look as well. The Cobra R doesn't look bad, but the spoiler on the back reminds me of a Riser Civic, and the V6 bumper on the back doesn't help neither. I just feel like they could have done a little bit more with the exterior of the car, but I understand that this was a track car with a really low volume production, so they had to pretty much work with what they had available at that specific time. That's why I'm gonna give the win to the Terminator Cobra. Performance, and probably the most important category. Since this one is a very important category, I will break it down and give a point to the winner of each specific test. Keep in mind, I will be using data that was recorded when both of these cars were brand new. On the corners, the Cobra R pulled a lateral acceleration of 1.01 Gs and ran through the slalom at 69.4 miles per hour. The Terminator put a lateral acceleration of 0.85 Gs and ran through the slalom at 65.4 miles per hour. Cornering, the clear winner is the Cobra R. This car was designed to go around the track as fast as possible in a street legal car. One purpose, one goal. The Cobra R ran 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds and the quarter of mile in 12.9 seconds at 110 miles per hour. The Terminator Cobra ran 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds and the quarter of mile in 12.9 seconds at 111 miles per hour. Virtually both cars accelerate exactly the same, but the quicker car in a straight line is the Terminator. The fastest Terminator Coupe bone stock ran 12.6 at 113 miles per hour, and the fastest convertible bone stock ran 12.7 at 111 miles per hour at a Ford Showdown back in 2004. I couldn't find any data for the fastest bone stock 2000 Cobra R, other than the magazines at that time had the Cobra R running anywhere from 13.2 seconds to 12.9 seconds in the quarter of mile, and the miles per hour ranged anywhere from 108 to 110.8 miles per hour. Both cars are extremely close in acceleration, but the Terminator holds a slight edge thanks to the blown 4.6 liter. The Cobra R could stop from 100 miles per hour to 0 in 328 feet, from 60 miles per hour to 0 in 117.7 feet. The Terminator could stop from 100 miles per hour to 0 in 341.2 feet, and from 60 miles per hour to 0 in 121.6 feet. Cobra R front brakes feature 13-inch rotors with massive Brembo 4-piston calipers. In the rear, you have 11.7 rotors with a single piston caliper. Keep your brakes cool during the grueling race sessions. The SVT team incorporated cooling ducts. The brake cooling ducts pull air from the front of the fog lights opening and are attached to the custom carbon fiber heat shield. The 03 Cobra had in the front 13-inch vented Brembo disc, PBR twin piston calipers, and in the rear it had 11.65 vented disc, single piston calipers. The 03 Cobra also had the fog light opening for cooling ducts for the brakes, but the ducts were never added to this car since this car's intention was to be a comfortable, fast street legal car. This is what the Cobra R was built to do. Here's where it shines. The Cobra R was a race car that you could drive on the streets legally. The Terminator Cobra was built for the street use, not really for the track, even though it is capable of producing impressive lap times considering its weight and the fact that it was not designed to do so. The Cobra R is the clear winner here. That's why you see the Cobra R in most racing games and not the Terminator. The Cobra R engine produced 385 horsepower and 385 foot-pounds of torque. The engine was underrated and actually produced 420 to 430 horsepower due to what most Cobra Rs were dynoing into the wheels in stock form. The Cobra R has a specific 5.4 liter with a compression ratio of 9.6 to 1. SVT had to develop custom motor mounts and cross member to lower the engine 12 millimeters. A unique intake manifold, Carrillo forged connecting rods, forged pistons, high-flow aluminum heads with specific Cobra R cams, tubular exhaust headers, and a single-bore 80mm throttle body. The transmission was a Tremec manual T56 with aluminum drive shaft, a 355 rear axle on the differential, and speaking on the back, the Cobra R came with a 21-gallon fuel cell. Yes, not a regular gas tank, a fuel cell. The 03 Cobra produced 390 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque, thanks to the 4.6 liter supercharged engine. The engine was actually underrated and actually produced around 420 to 440 horsepower from the factory, due to what most of these cars were putting down to the wheels on the dyno. The engine had an iron block with forged steel crankshaft, forged H-beam connecting rods from Manley, revised aluminum heads, and dish-top pistons. The compression ratio was 8.5 to 1 to tolerate the pressures produced by the Eaton supercharger up to 8 pounds of boost. A water-to-air intercooler condenses the induction charge for optimal performance. All Cobras came with the manual 6-speed transmission T56, an aluminum drive shaft, and a slip differential with 355 gear ratios. The fuel tank had a capacity of 15.7 gallons. Here the winner is the Terminator Cobra, and while it was hard to pick a winner for the engine specs, Here's how I came down to that conclusion. The Terminator Cobra was dynoed next to another Cobra R for a test that they did back in 2003. And the Terminator Cobra put down 373s to the wheel and 380 torque to the wheels, versus the Cobra R 362 and 372 torque. The 03 makes more power and more torque, also makes more usable power for the streets and more low-end torque. Plus it came with the Eaton M112 supercharger that makes this engine produce power very easily because it has boost. A filter swap and a pulley change on the Terminator and it will be lights out for the Cobra R. The Terminator will make easily 430 to the wheels and the Cobra R will struggle to make the same power because it was an A. I will just have to say that I have never seen a Cobra R in person. That's how rare these cars really are. With a production number of just 300 units, the Cobra R is by far the most rare car. The 03 and 04 Cobra production numbers were in total 19,140 units. The Cobra R wins this one. The Cobra R had an MSRP of $54,995. The 03 Cobra had an MSRP of $33,460. The clear winner here is the 03 Cobra. If you ask me, I love to save money and the 03 and 04 Cobra was a bargain back then and even now. The price difference was $20,540. So yeah, the Cobra R was special, but not 20k more special than the quicker supercharged Terminator. Most Cobra Rs were either stored in a collector's garage or just a street driven. Few Cobra Rs really saw the track use that they were built to do. Street use is where the Terminator shines. This is what it was built to do. Both cars have an IRS suspension that handle bumps and road imperfections way better than what solid axle Mustangs from this era did. Both have a 6-speed manual that allows for a more relaxed highway cruising experience. Now, the Cobra R did not have a radio, nor did it have AC from the factory. The rear seats have been deleted from the factory. The SVT team removed most of the unneeded options and materials such as sound deadening materials. Safe to say that the Cobra R is not the best street machine. The Terminator Cobra did have a radio. They came with a really nice Mach 460 stereo system. Also, they came with AC, a back seat, and all of the sound deadening material that removed noises from the cabin. The suspension was also tuned for a more comfortable street ride. The Terminator wins this one without a problem. This one is what car made a bigger impact for the Mustang name and actually went out on the streets and made a name for itself. With a lower price and a lot more units in the streets, there's no surprise that the Terminator is the one who did this. From the iconic supercharger whine to dominating the streets and at the local drag racing tracks near you, the Terminator became an instant fan favorite. This car was affordable, comfortable, and with manual work freaking fast. People went crazy when they saw these cars with stock blowers running 10.9 in the quarter-mile back in 2003. This performance was unheard of. This Cobra was a monster and people took notice. It also terminated the discussion between the Mustang and Camaro as who was the fastest one. The Terminator won our hearts by racing and winning, and lots of winning it did. Okay guys, so who won? And by a single point, the winner is the 03 and 04 Mustang Cobra. I personally would love to own a Cobra R. What a car, especially for 2000. This car was a real beast, and after 20 years it still puts a smile on your face because of how raw and how track ready it was from the factory. It was truly a hot rod from the factory. It probably is the collector's choice when it comes down to new age Mustangs because they only produced 300 of this and the car was truly one of a kind. The Terminator Cobra is hard to beat. While it's not the best race car at the track compared to the Cobra R, it makes up in other areas where the Cobra R can compete. This was the first supercharged Mustang ever. This car is why we have a supercharged CR1, a supercharged GT500, a supercharged CL1, and yes, the Hellcat. This little Cobra makes such a big impact in the automotive world that everyone took notice, even the competition. Alright guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If this is your first time stopping by, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you part of this family. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.